Happy Monday. Thank you guys for joining me here tonight. Hold on here. All right, there we go. So thank you guys for joining me here tonight. We are going to continue on the Splendid Sampler to Quilt-along this week. We are about halfway done with this project. And I am just going one by one through the blocks at this point. So thank you guys again. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make cute embroidery kits for the beginning crafter. And I am here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. That's 9:30 Eastern and 6:30 Pacific. And it's a time that we can relax and craft together. So thank you guys again for joining me. We are doing the Splendid Sampler 2. We are going to work on the Balancing Reflection block. There we are. It is by Yvonne Fuchs, and I think it's going to be a nice kind of intermediate, beginner intermediate, just piecing block. We will use a few techniques with this, and I'm pretty excited about it. It's going to just be nice and simple, and just some sewing, some cutting and some sewing. So that'll be nice. So all right, I'm going to flip you around and we'll get going. Thank you guys for joining me. Okay, here's my bin of the Splendid Sampler 2 blocks, and here we go. So this is going to be the block, at least for the next few days. We may be, maybe we'll start another one too, because this one may or may not take the whole week. I kind of don't think it'll take the whole week, but we'll see. So there we go, Balancing Reflection. I actually kind of like this colorway with the two kind of white pieces. We might do something like that. But anyway, I have the list. I printed this out from the back of the book, and it is the list of all the blocks. The ones in highlighter are the ones that I have done. So I'm just now going down the list and trying to get these done. So the next one, the next blank one, was Balancing Reflection. It is on page 46. So I thought we'd start there tonight. So thank you guys again for joining me. Hello, Rebecca. Hello, Robin and Tracy. Terry, everyone over on YouTube. And hello, Facebook people as well. All right. So let's just take a peek where we're at. This is the bin, one of the bins that I store the Splendid Sampler 2 in. It looks like, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we definitely have enough blocks to make another segment of 4 like this. This looks like our only segment of 4 that's not quilted. All of these other ones we've quilted. This is what we worked on last month on this project. We did some quilting. We took a break from block making and did some quilting, and this is the one that we did. Whole big little feather there. We did the elephant holding some balloons. It's nice, this quilt as you go process, because we can just quilt on these small squares and fit them into the quilt later, so that's kind of neat. All right, so that's the state of the state here. So there's 6. I'd like to get 2 more done, and then we can arrange a few more of these blocks and then maybe do some more quilting again soon. So, all right, that's what we have going on with this project. Let's pick some fabrics for this block here. So this is my fabric bin for my Splendid Sampler 2 project. We've already pre-picked fabrics that are kind of this pale tan and pale yellow and then white. I wanted to make a primarily light colored quilt just because I've never done that before. So we also have white as our primary background color when it's an obvious background, and here we don't really have an obvious background, so we could either do the white for these, which I think is awfully pretty, but I don't know, I kind of like the white taking up a lot of space here as well. So I'm wondering, maybe we do white for this background here. So let's just grab that already. I know I'm going to use white. I use white in every block. Then we sort of need a contrasting color for these bottom pieces. I'm just going to start grabbing from here. And I'm not using any of these brights. So every 5 blocks or so, I use these bright colors, but I don't think this is one of those blocks, so I'm going to try and do it without. So this is pretty high contrast for me. I know like this is still like a pale yellow, but in relationship to the white and in relationship to some of the other things we have, it is kind of a more pale color. Or I mean a more high contrast compared to the white. This is kind of an interesting color. We haven't used this fabric much in the quilt yet. This might be kind of interesting. I kind of like these as the contrasting colors. And then we need like these side pops. Could almost just pick whatever. And then we could do the stars in the middle. That would be kind of interesting. Oh, you know what? I kind of like that because this is you know, balancing reflection. It's almost like the sky and the water almost. So what if this was like this triangle and this triangle? It was like the stars in the sky and then the reflection of the stars in like this weird pink water or something. I kind of like that. Let's go with that for the big triangles. And then we just need these little, I don't know, extra boppers over there. So I think just something easy. Maybe something that blends these two together. I'm kind of thinking this might be in the middle of the white and this kind of pink without overwhelming anything. And I have a lot of this fabric. That's the other thing. I'm running low on some fabrics. I don't know. I think let's just go with this. You know what? I think I'm going to just call it right there. We'll just make it easy. We'll just make a quick decision here. Tracy, this is not paper pieced. This is just normal piecing. So cutting squares, sewing them onto other pieces to make triangles. This is not, as far as I can tell, paper pieced. No, we are just cutting shapes and sewing them together. So that's nice. We haven't done just a simple, well, not simple, but we haven't done a block that hasn't had like an extra technique in a while. So this is good. So yes, it is not paper pieced. I think this is the 51st block. So I'm officially halfway over. All right, I'm just kind of paging through your comments here. I know I might, well, I don't know. That's the challenge. Gina on Facebook is saying, you're going to need some more blonde fabrics. We're calling this the blonde quilt. I don't know. Fabric goes a long way. It is a goofy thing. So even though it looks like I hardly have anything left, I think I might actually have quite a bit. We are just going to have to scavenge for it. That's the only thing. Like, I have a lot of white, so I'm not concerned about that, but these are 3 rather large pieces. Some of my pieces are like only this big, so we're gonna have to use those sparingly, obviously. First, I think, you know, these have been in the bin for a little while. I'm going to give them a little press. I don't quite know where I'm cutting from yet, but they're all, you know, sort of small pieces at this point. So let's just to get the ball running here tonight, let's just get some nice flat pieces, especially since we are piecing this. We're not using any special technique. We're gonna want, I think, nice cuttable pieces is my guess here. Oh, Tracy, I'm doing pops of color every 5 blocks or so. And I think the last block we did was that American spool, and I really didn't, I didn't put a pop of pop of color with fabric in there, but I did stitch. It has that needle. Remember, it has that stitched needle on there, and then like the little thread going through the needle. The thread that I had going through the needle was kind of my pop of color. So this one, so every 5 blocks. So this one being block 51, I'm gonna have to wait a few. So I'm calling that little thread pop a pop of color. The reason I gave myself a limit for every 5 blocks is because otherwise my instinct would be to put lots of color in, and I wanted to on purpose see if I could limit myself with this quilt, since all of my quilts before this and really after this as of late have all been so bright and, you know, juicy saturated colors, you know, like the granny square quilt, for example, that bright teal and those blues. So I wanted to challenge myself by seeing if I could even do just a pale, light-colored quilt. And it's been a challenge, I do have to say. So I'm happy I put that limitation that only every 5 blocks, because I really would have stuck it in a little bit more. And I actually think that maybe 5 blocks was... I should have done like every 10 blocks, I think, honestly. Because it does look like there's a lot of little pops of color in there. But yeah, definitely happy I limited myself. I always try and have parameters on my projects. I think it helps make decisions, and that doesn't mean I don't break them, but I at least know I'm going outside a realm that I had set up. All right, you guys, we have our pieces here. So let's cut them in order. So we got to remember what goes where, though. So all right, one cream piece cut into, okay, the cream piece. Let's see, cream, blue, yellow, navy. Okay, I'm guessing cream, blue, yellow, navy. Okay, so cream. We need 2 squares. Wait, what's our cream? Cream is white. Oh, 10 squares. Sheesh, we need 10 squares of 1.5 by 1.5 inches. So you know what? I'm going to just cut right across here and get the 1.5 by 1.5 inches, and then I'll probably cut a chunk off to get the 2.5 by 2.5 because I need 2 of those. So, all right. Here we go. This is that cutting stage again. Cutting glove, where are you hiding? Let's get the rotary cutter out. Okay. Oh, I see it. Hold on here. Running away from me. All right, this looks like a pretty straight edge, but I'm going to give it just a quick shimmy to square it up here. No, my cream is the white, so the blue is the stars. So it's cream, blue, yellow, and then navy. So those are the ones. So the cream is my white. The blue is the stars. The yellow is that kind of tan with the circles, and that pink is that navy. So it does get confusing. So sometimes if I print this out, or if I photocopy it, I will write right on there, just because I don't like writing in books, but I will write the color that I'm switching it to, especially if I think I'll get confused later. I'm hoping we can cut these out quick here and we'll remember. But if I was going to do more cutting tomorrow, I would for sure label it. But yeah, definitely label if you think you'll forget. All right, so I'm just gonna, I know this is more than what I need, but I'm just doing it the easy way, just cutting the strip. We'll cross cut it into 10 1.5 inch bits. I'm excited, you guys. Today I was finishing up my stuff that I need to do for my Aurifil block. So my Aurifil block is, I'm one of the designers for this Aurifil block quilt that we're working on, And my block is July. So we have one block, we have this month's block, and then mine will be the next block. So I'm finishing up like the interview questions, and I'm taking photos of the block. I'm really excited about it, and I hope you guys like it. Okay, I need 10 out of here. So maybe I'll just fold it in half once, and we'll cut our 5 out of here. Gosh, maybe I don't even have enough for 10. Let's just let's count. Okay, 1.5, 1.5. That's 2, 3. Oh dang, I might need another one. Oh, we might just be right on the edge. Okay, I gotta make sure that I just take a tiny bit off for this, just to get a nice edge here. I'm gonna grab my smaller ruler. I like this ruler a bit better. I like how small the markings are on this ruler. And I actually kind of like working with this small cutting board. This cutting mat expands to be twice as big, but it's nice. It's like a rotating cutting mat versus like me lifting this up and rotating the fabric. I can just leave it on the mat, and I find that super helpful. Okay, we need 5 out of here. Let's see if we can do it. Ooh, got a haircut today. Joe says she got her haircut today. That's nice. I have not. I've given John 2 quarantine haircuts, but I haven't gotten a haircut. Luckily, before quarantine, I had just happened to get my haircut a little time before. I'm sure it probably needs it, but well. Oh, Rebecca says can't wait for the block. Oh, that's nice. I hope you guys like it. I try to do kind of a simple, maybe this is too much information, but a simple block, but you can expand on it to make it dig more into it a little bit. I think it's going to be kind of fun. So we'll definitely stitch that live. And actually next month, we may switch up our schedule a little bit because the Aurifil block of the months are released on the 15th, and that's usually when we're stitching. That was just enough fabric, you guys. That's usually when we're stitching the embroidery of the month. So I think it releases on the Wednesday of July, of that third week in July, the 15th. I think that's a Wednesday. So I think we'll actually start stitching, or sewing, I guess, sewing that the day it's released. So we're going to kind of switch up the schedule a little bit. And then in the last week of the month, we'll probably work on the July embroidery of the month. All right, I think that's 10. Can't talk and count, I guess. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Perfect. All right, then we still need, so I'm just kind of making my stack of cut stuff. We're just doing all the cutting at once. I don't always do all the cutting at once, but sometimes. All right, I'm going to cut a, sometimes when I just want to get rid of all this extra fabric, I will cut it. So, all right, I need 2.5 inch squares, so that is 5 inches. Now, I didn't square this up, but I know that this is a nice edge, so we'll just know that this is a nice edge. So 2.5. So I'm just going to kind of line this up, trim around 2.5 here. Just kind of shimmy that off, and then let's rotate this. It's not ever very graceful when I cut these little chunks out of here versus just cutting a bunch of strips. Oh, I hope so, Arloa. I hope you like it. All right. 5 inches. Okay. Go through for 5, and then the 2.5. All right, so I'm going to cut the 5 by 2.5, and then we'll cut it in half to get our 2.5s. Just cutting chunks out of all these fabrics. All right, I am done with the white fabric, so I'm going to toss that to the side so it's out of our hair. So we're doing all the prep for this block tonight. And then 2.5 inches, so we're going to just chop this in half, basically. It's all easy to sew once all the cutting's done, so that's nice at least. I did iron, I ironed it, Barbara, but I haven't been ironing it with starch or steam or anything, so there are a few little wrinkles in, but I think it's going to be enough, it's going to be flat enough that it's going to work okay for us, so I'm not too worried, but I did do a little bit of ironing beforehand. I could, you know, in the first Splendid Sampler, I did spray starch and press everything while I went, but I don't know, I haven't really been doing it at all for this quilt, just because, I don't know, it stained my pressing mat, and I don't know, I just haven't been doing it this time, and it's still fine. All right, blueprint rectangles. Now the blueprint was the stars. So, okay, stars are next. 2 blueprint rectangles. So, okay, I need 2 of these. So 2 inches by 4.5. So 4.5 is 9 inches. I wonder if I can get that here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, this will be perfect. So I'm going to just slice a chunk off of here. I mean, I'll have a little extra, but let's go like this. Let's start by just cleaning up our edge. All right. Just like how we've been doing before. I moved a little, but I think we'll be okay. All right, let's rotate. Oh, my way looks less stressful just without the starch, spraying starch. I mean, it was helpful when I was working with the teeniest of tiny pieces, and actually, honestly, maybe these would have been nice to starch. We are going to be dealing with a lot of triangles too. But I was also really working on my 1/4 inch seam allowance at the same time as when I was using the starch. And that was helpful because I'd have these stiffer blocks when I was trying to just really work on my 1/4 inch seam allowance. But I think I'm a hair better at that, or I pay attention to it a little bit more. So maybe I'm not needing as perfectly starched blocks. All in all, it's probably just because I'm lazy about it. Don't want to do that extra step. All right, I don't need this bulk. All right, let's just fold these together and we'll trim this edge. And then we'll rotate and get... Now here would be maybe a moment that I could just give this... Oop, flew away here. There we are. Where I could just press this just to get this not blooping up. It'll be easier to cut. There we are. It's gonna be cute. Cute little stars. All right, now I will clean this up. All right, we needed 4.5 inches. So 1, 2, 3, 4.5. Okay, we got plenty. Good. Got scared there for a sec. Actually, I'm going to use this guy. He's nicer. So I'm aligning that edge of the ruler, that line of the ruler, with the bottom line here, and then that'll give me that nice square cross cut. All right, now let's rotate around. just so I can use the same hand here. And 4.5. Double check. Yep, 4.5 by 2.5. That looks like what we got here. Good. Okay, so we have those two pieces cut. I think that's going to be pretty. So it looks like it's going to be something like, you know, this is going to be our, like one of those V's, like this, and then the other one will be down here with that other color. So that'll be kind of interesting. Ooh, the stars, that's going to look cool. I'm happy with the stars. Reflecting on the lake, I like that. Okay, that was 2. We have 2 more. So yellow, those are all those little outside, these outside bits here. Okay, and we're using just this kind of guy with these circles on, just kind of a neutral. They're all kind of neutral though, huh? All right, we need 6 that are 1.5 by 2.5. Let's see. 2.5. 2 of those would be 5 inches times 3. That's 15. I don't know. Is this 15 inches? We could do the, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oh, it just about is. So you know what I think I am going to do? Just one little strip. We'll just keep skinnying up this piece here. This does look like it could use a little press on this edge though. I think it's just been kind of wrinkly anyway, but all right, I'm going to cut one long skinny strip that's 1.5 inches. And then we will fold it a few times and then cross cut to get the 6 pieces that I need. So if I did my head math correctly, then we should be good with this. All right, I'm just gonna get this out of the way. All right, straight line, let's do that. Oh my gosh, you guys, it was 98 degrees here today. I according to the car, my phone, I think it said 96, but I'm going by the car because the car knows best, right? I don't think we got to the triple digits, but we were real, oh shoot, I just moved. I'm gonna shimmy over a little bit further and do that again. That's like the cutting fear, is that it shimmying on me. Ugh. But man, I just worked slow today. That's what it felt like. It's just like you can't, it's humid too, so it just feels like you're just swimming a bit and just, ugh. It's a lot. I'm in a tank top today. That's a first for the year. All right, 1.5. Let's not move when I cut this. Oh my gosh, look, I'm cutting it almost exactly on the thickness of one of these circles. That's kind of funny. So these circles must be 1.5 inches. All right, I moved a little bit. Ugh, I just do not like this ruler. What I really need to do is put more grippets on the bottom. So grippets are those little circles, or I just need to wipe them off. I think they get fuzzy after a while, but these little sticker things that you put on them, that just really makes it not move at all, and the fact that it's moving at all really means that it's they're getting fuzzy. All right. Oop, Faith, let me show your message. Welcome, Faith. Oh, so Joe's saying Central Wisconsin is supposed to get remnants of the hurricane. I did kind of see that. I'm kind of curious what that means as far as Wisconsin. That's pretty crazy. All right, I'm just going to fold this a few times. So how many did we need? We needed, I needed to do 3 out of here. So yeah, because I needed 6 total. So I'm just going to fold it once. All right, I needed 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. Ah, perfect amount. Great. Oh, Terry's saying last summer we only had one 90-degree day, and this year we had two already. Sheesh. Yep, this is our first 90-degree day as far as I can tell. And 98, like it was almost triple digits. Look, oh my god. Okay, and 2.5 inches. 3 times. So this precision cutting, I mean, I am taking a lot of time to cut and make sure these are right, but especially on these small little blocks that we're doing for this with all of these pieces, precision everywhere is kind of important. Like I'm going to need to really pay attention to my 1/4 inch seam allowance as best I can, and you know, just cut all this cutting, getting this as precise as I can, because anything that's a little off in these, you'll start to be able to tell. Like the block will shrink too much, or it'll be too big, or things won't fit together very well. So I am trying to kind of pay a little bit of a closer attention to the details here. All right, so here's 6, and I think that's all we need of that. See, this fabric, I mean, it goes a long way. This is all I needed for this block. We still have all of this to go. So that's what I'm saying. It looks like I don't have a lot of fabric, but these blocks, they don't use much. It's kind of crazy. All right, this is my last piece. This is the navy. Okay, we need quite a bit of this. Oh, the same amount, it looks like. Well, that makes sense. The same amount as what we cut of the white. It's because it's a mirror image of the white. That makes sense. So, okay. But my shape's different here. So we needed 10 1.5 inch squares. And what would that be? That'd be 15 inches again, wouldn't it be? I don't think I have. Oh, this might be 15 inches. This long chunk here. Yeah, that would work. I wonder if it's 20 inches. I could cut off the other two right away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Not quite. But I think we still will cut our 15-inch piece out of here. Well, we have this little chunk here. We could just do it from the side. How much do we have on this side? We can cut 2 strips. That might be the better way of doing it. Okay, 11. We could cut 1. Ugh, you know what? I'm just going to cut 2 here, and we'll have some extra. That's just keeping it simple sometimes is the best way to do it. Sometimes it's, you know, sometimes those long strips that you cut can be kind of difficult. So just 2 smaller ones. I think in this case it's going to work a little bit better. Oh, so Rebecca's saying in Texas it was 99 today. Ugh, yeah, that's a toasty. I don't know how all you guys in the South can be this warm all the time. Like, I mean, I suppose you maybe acclimate to it, but like I said, I was so sluggish today. I had to really move my brain through concrete a little bit. It felt like, which is not. I hate that feeling. We did end up closing up the house and putting the air on, so it's a little nicer inside than outside, but it's still pretty toasty in here. Ugh, moved a little bit again. Okay, that's 1. 2, and then I need, I'll cross cut these, but let's see if I can, one thing at a time. I was going to see if I could cut out that second piece right away, but one thing at a time I think is best for this. I'm going to fold these in half though. Oh wait, but I need 5 out of each. Ah, forget it. Let's just trim 5. So let's get a nice edge on one of these sides. We're gonna have extra with this, but that's fine. I'm okay with that. Rotate that around and we will get our 10 1.5 inch squares, which means I just need to cut 5 because we're double layered here. It feels good to be ticking through these Splendid Sampler 2 blocks though. Just feels good to just be going down the list and checking them off. And it does also feel awesome that it's partially quilted already. Like we get to skip all of the last steps of quilt making, really, because we're already kind of pre-quilting it. I think it'll take a little bit of time to sew those together. Sew all the blocks together, especially when we sew big long rows, but maybe we'll do a lot of that by machine. We'll have to see how it goes. Okay, and then this is our extra. I'm going to actually save that. We might use that somewhere else in the quilt. Oh, I still need to cut those 2 other pieces out of there too. And I think we're going to flip these all so the right sides are up. Oh, I think they all are already. Yeah, okay, good. Just because I think this one I get confused. What's the right and the wrong side? Oh, maybe not so much. Okay, we need 2 2.5 inch squares. I was hoping to get them right in this chunk, so let's see if we can do that. 2.5 inches is 5 inches. What about this? Is this 2.5? Ooh, we might get to go all the way to the end here and just have enough. Oh, I'm gonna try and force it. It's right on the edge. I'm gonna have to use this as I'm gonna have to consider this a straight edge, and it's kind of choppy, but I think it's good enough though. Yeah, we're gonna just go right like this. We're right on the edge there, but I'm gonna just go with it. Okay, 5 inches. It's nice using up these little areas. Okay, 2, 4, 5. Get this. All right, so now we should just be able to cut our 5 inch block. See, I'm a little on the edge there, but I think we're close enough. Oh, you know what? I'm going to just cut 2 inches and the 2.5 and 2.5 right here. Okay. Oh, I just peeked up and looked at all of the things we have cut out here. I think they look really nice together. This and the stars were a late add-on. They were from my mom's stash of fabric that I found that would work for this quilt, because I did need to add some extra blonde to the quilt since I was running low. And I'm happy with these picks. They're fun to be using. So, all right, let's see what we got now. All right, we should have all of our pieces, but I think they're actually looking really nice together. I do kind of like this mauve. This is what we could have used for the Splendid, or for the that mauve Aurifil month, but unfortunately those were not part of my selection choices. All right, you guys, let's, I think, oh good, we have 15 minutes yet. We can actually sew something, which would be lovely. Okay, what do we do first? Oh, draw a diagonal line from corner to corner on the wrong side of the A, B, E, and F squares. Okay, let's just get that done right away. I'm gonna do it on my cutting board here. Let's get a pencil. think I have a pencil around here. There we go. Okay, what pieces? The A pieces. The A pieces are these. The B pieces, oh my god, all of these. So all of these we'll draw a diagonal on. So we'll be sewing right on this diagonal, I presume, which is actually kind of nice. I like doing that. The E pieces, oh, that's these, E and F. Oh, okay, so the opposing things, we're going to draw a diagonal line corner to corner on the wrong side. So, all right, more prep, but you know what? This is going to make it a whole lot easier when we get down to it. So I am just going to follow the rules. Sometimes instead of drawing a line, I will just put a fold in. So I'll just kind of fold it in half like that and just kind of mark it. And then see, you can already kind of see. I mean, that's actually my normal go-to. But I do want a little bit more precision. We are working with all these triangles. Let's just follow the rules today. How about that? Maybe my brain's too warm to think outside of the box, outside of the rules today, so we're just gonna do every rule. All right, we're just gonna go through all these one by one. So I'm just using a pencil. I think this is totally fine. You can use a water-soluble pencil or marker if you want, but I don't know. I don't see why. This just a thin, like a mechanical pencil like this, I think just works great for a lot of things. Prep work. It always surprises me when the prep takes a whole day here, but it does really make the process of everything go a bit faster, so it's the way of it. Ugh, there's a lot of pieces though, but we can chill and cut, that's fine. That's true, Rebecca. Rebecca says, I'm glad we don't have to use scissors like our grandma did. Yep, that would slow the process down a hair, so that's true. It is nice we do not have to do that. If you are doing that, that is totally a legitimate way of doing this. If you don't have the cutting mat, the self-healing cutting mat, a ruler, a quilting ruler like this, or that rotary cutter, you can for sure use just a scissors and any other ruler. All these tools just speed it up and make certain processes just a hair easier. And help with precision and all that too. So I know if you're a big beginner, you might not have all the gadgets yet, even like these rulers and rotary cutters and stuff. And even so, they do take practice to use. And like I said, I'm still nervous every time I start cutting something with the rotary cutter. So when I put these on a stack, I try and keep them all the same angle. Like I'm trying to keep my diagonal stacked in the same direction just because then all those little consistencies kind of help later, I think. Like I can just grab and it'll feel the same each time because I'll have the ruler line will go the same way. So all right, here are these pieces. Now we have to do the same for these. So now these don't really have a right side or a wrong side because they're just white. So whatever side I choose, I have to remember that is actually the wrong side. So we do have an extra little thing we have to remember because there's no right or wrong side. So if you're using a colored fabric that doesn't have a pattern on, that looks the same on both sides, you'll just have to remember that you're drawing these lines on the wrong side. But I don't know, there's pretty good diagrams throughout this process, so I think through this block, so I think it should be pretty easy, I think, to follow yet. We're getting there. I think we're actually going to sew yet tonight. Oh my god, you guys, I am melting here. I'm nervous about going to bed tonight because our air conditioner, like, doesn't get upstairs. We have a 1.5 story, so like the attic is basically where the bedroom is, and the air doesn't get pushed up there very easily. So we actually have a separate wall air conditioner, or a window air conditioner, I mean. But we're trying to do that in the hallway and have it blow in instead of it being right by our faces. So I don't know. We do not have a good keeping cool in summer system. Oh, I look a little rosy. Yeah, I'm warm for sure. Sylvia says I'm looking a little rosy. I'm definitely pink today. Oh, poor John was outside. He worked a lot outside this weekend, and oh, he's got so much sunburn. I feel bad for him. He's gonna definitely start peeling in the next few days. Poor guy. He's got some pretty good short sleeve shirt tan lines. T-shirt tan. All right, one more. That wasn't too bad. Kind of relaxing, actually. All right, there we go. Next up, okay, referring to the stitch and flip. Okay, I know how to do that. So we are going to take the 2 marked A, okay, that's these, to a C rectangle, okay, and that's these. And it looks like we're doing the same thing. Oh gosh, we're doing this a lot. Oh, interesting. I'm reading ahead, you guys. So we are going to put, we have these 2 stars. So we are going to sew one of our white pieces along that diagonal line. We'll do that side first, and I'm going to do this all at once too, because this one we do the same thing too, but I'm doing it with this piece. There we are. So we'll sew here and then here, and then we will press them, and then I will sew this one and then this one, and when these are flipped up after they're sewn, they'll look like so. Well, this actually blends together a whole lot more than I think I wanted it to, but I think that's okay, because this is kind of like I said, this is kind of the sky, and then the reflection of the stars on the water, which is kind of the bottom. So it's okay that it blends together, I think. Okay, so that's the first process. Let's sew from here to here and here to here. And actually, it looks like we do that with these small pieces too. I'm just reading ahead. Using the stitch and flip method, that's what we're doing here. We're stitching along the line and then flipping it. Well, you know what? We're getting close to the end of the night here, so let's just leave the steps of the future steps alone and stay focused here. So I'm going to do these 2 pieces at the same time, though, and I think we'll have just enough time to finish both of those. And that's a good chunk of stuff done here. So let's head over to the machine. Okay, so I don't have any leaders here yet, so I'm gonna have to. Oh, this is such a bummer. I have, remember I'm doing that project, that whole other project while we sew other projects by having pieces of fabric available for that project for when I do these leaders. But I don't have that. I have to cut more fabric for that, so we're going to have to use actual leaders which is a little bit of a bummer, but oh well. Okay, so let's grab my stiletto, help nudge these fabrics together. So I'm just matching up the sides, matching up all the edges. Really just I'm matching up this edge and this edge. And I'm going to sew from the middle down. It is more difficult to sew just at a point like this. You can, but the machine likes to suck it down into itself sometimes. So I actually, whenever I can, I like sewing from this angle, and I'm going to sew right on that line. And actually I can give if it gets a little stuck, like if the machine wants to eat it, I can give a little pull on my leader, and that will help it along. So, all right, we're going right on that line. And actually I'm going to go a hair to the outside, because then the fold will kind of be on that line. So that's the plan, at least. All right, we're started. I think we're looking good. And now just scooching down that line. Going slow just so I can stay on that line. And all right, let's get this next piece in here right away. Matching it all up. Starting from that middle again. Oops, I went on the inside, not the outside of that line. The feed dogs on this machine are really good. Like, they really grab well. So that's helpful. Okay, and let's see, can I start another little leader here? I'm just trying to make it the same thickness, so 2 layers thick. Then the foot won't like move to have to jump to a different level. It's still those 2 layers. All right, let's snip that off. Snip this leader off, and then we got our first couple pieces. So we have to press these, and then we will sew that next piece on. So let's just get the mat out. So the way this is typically taught is, hold on a sec, is that we actually cut this off first. So the idea is ultimately we're going to go like this, right? We are going to flip this up. Let me show you with the white one. We are going to flip this up, and that will be one of our sides. And then we have all this extra, so we don't actually need that. We need to kind of trim it down to the 1/4 inch seam allowance. So the typical way that this is taught, or that I've seen, is, I know I'm on my pressing mat, but you go like with your ruler 1/4 inch from that line, and then you snip all that off, and then you press. But what I like doing is pressing first, and my mom showed me this. I like pressing first because without you'd be pressing like this, and you'd just be pressing up. But with that seam allowance, now I have this edge as my guide still, so I can press, and what I'm trying to do is match this front edge, or this edge of the front piece with that back piece, and I'm just kind of even finger pressing it right now, and then I know that my piece is going to be nice and square still, because I had that guide before I cut it off, right? I'm not sure this was heated up still. There we are. There, see how square it is still? And that's because I was using this as my guide. So now I just use a scissors. I know this freaks some of you guys out. So this is where I just trim it off here. So I'm reading a comment, you guys. Oh yeah, farmer's tan. Yep, John will definitely have that. So I just trim. I just get a nice sharp scissors. Make sure that you flip this back. You don't want to cut that off. Cut that off too. If you forget to do this and sew it into your quilt, it's not going to matter. You're just going to have 3 layers of fabric instead of just the 1. But I just roughly cut 1/4 inch away from the edge with the scissors. So I know it's not perfect. It's not done with the ruler and the rotary cutter, but I just think that just saves time. I just do it that way with my nice scissors. So there we are. We can even give that an extra little press if you want. There we go. So that's one side. We'll do the other side next, but while we're at it, let's get this one. It's kind of nice doing like things at the same time. This really does blend in with the other piece. There we go. So I was using that edge again to match it up. Okay, so let's lift that up, just that front piece. Second piece is stuck. There we go. And we'll trim to that 1/4 inch again. There we are, looking good. Okay, here are the 2 pieces. So now we need that other side on there. Hopefully they're not stuck to my mat. Oh, there they are. They are stuck to the mat. There we go. All right, so keep those colors alike. So now the diagonal line again is the wrong side. So I'm going to just place that here. We're gonna, we're not aiming it like this. Like we're not sewing right down the middle like that. Although that would be kind of cool. Make a shape like that. We are pointing it the opposite direction, so that when we sew, we get that triangle. So I'm pointing it this way. Just kind of line it up while I'm at it. All right, and then this one as well. Ooh, it's kind of hard to see that line. Okay, there we are. And again, I'm going to try and start from that center area, just because it's less likely that my sewing machine will suck it into the inner realm of the machine. It'll just push it down into the machine. All right. There we go. Now that we're starting, I'm just kind of lining things up. Watching as I go, going slowly. All right, and then this feller. I think this is a good start for the night. Just even that we cut all the pieces. I mean, that alone is going to be really helpful. All that cutting takes a long time. Okay, let's press those and trim those ends, and then these 2 pieces are done. So this is what is called a flying geese unit. So whenever you hear the term flying geese, what they're referring to is a rectangle like this with the 2 triangles on the edges, and they're made like this. They're made from the 2 smaller squares on the rectangle, just like what we're doing here. So a lot of times you'll see them all in a row, and if we kept like seeing more and more of these, they would look like a bunch of triangles go in the same direction, kind of like very much like what geese look like when they are flying in the sky all together. At least I suspect that's why it's called a flying geese unit. I don't know why else they would call it that. But yeah, they're so pretty in rows, like tons of them in a row. I just think they're kind of cool. In this case, we're just, it's still called a flying geese unit. A unit is just like a smaller sewn together piece in the larger block. So these flying geese units, we're going to actually... These are going to end up like this, and then minus the seam allowance. So we will have those points hopefully perfectly matching up. We'll have to do our pin test to sew that together well. But there we go. That's our start. Let's not forget to trim. I'll press it again too since I was bending it. But let's trim this edge off. And again, remember, if you forget and you sew it in the quilt or into the rest of the block, it's not going to matter. I mean, it'll just be a little thicker there, but it's not going to be the end of the world. I've done it before for sure. I've also done this where I've cut all 3 layers at once. That's a bummer. Then you're redoing the unit for sure. All right, let's just give it a final little bit, and I think that is what we'll do tonight here. So it looks like tomorrow, it looks like we're making more, but smaller. So I don't quite know where those live. Oh, I think, you know what? I think if I had to guess, I think they're right here. Here, like if we just, it's kind of hard to tell, but there. there all of a sudden you can see that flying geese unit on its side, right? So I think there, and then here and here. Oh, and probably here. So there's 6. Well, there we go. There's 6 of them throughout this block. So that's what we're doing. So next up, it looks like we're making 6 smaller ones. So I'm guessing 3 of the light and 3 of the dark, just kind of how we did this. But it'll be with this will be our center piece instead of the triangle. So we did the stars. We did the 2 easy ones, the 2 big ones. I mean, these will be just as easy. They're just tiny. And then I think we have leftover squares to finish the lines on these. But all right, so like I said, this will go like so, and all of the rest of these will be scattered around, but all of these pink ones will be at the bottom, and all of these white ones will be at the top, and this will be what's scattered all over. So I'm excited. This is gonna look cute. I'm stoked for it. All right, you guys, I'm gonna flip you around. We'll call it an evening here. All right, hello again. Okay, so let me show you how small these are. I know with the Aurifil, we've been working on some much larger blocks, like blocks that are twice as big as these. So these are the big pieces of this block. They are small, but like look how small. The smaller ones, the littler flying geese will be this big. So here we go, this and this. We got our start. I like it. I think I like this idea that it's a like stars reflecting on the lake, and then when it's on that lake, they kind of blend in a little bit more. They wouldn't be as sparkly as they are in the sky, I think. So I like this idea. Liking the block so far. It's fun to do just a normal pieced block with some simple traditional units like the flying geese unit. This is primarily just flying geese, and then we sew some squares to the flying geese. So easy peasy. I like it. So awesome, you guys. Thanks again. Be sure to check the replay if you want to see this whole process again, and I'll be working on this for the rest of the week, but I don't think this one's going to take that long. So we may be starting another one, which would be awesome. Let's crank these out. I want to get these blocks done. All right, you guys. Thanks again, and I will see you tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. Have a great evening. Good night.